Long time no see.
Hi.
Just looking for your code enforcement unit.
Code enforcement unit.
Yes. Is there someone we can talk to from there?
What do you want to talk to them about?
We're trying to see if they can shed any light on the definition of a road versus a public right of way.
They're not going to help you with that.
Was this the same person, Will?
Yeah, this was the same officer.
Yeah, they're not going to help you with that.
Okay, can I get your name and badge number?
Yes, it's Officer Getman, Gettman, 0104. They don't handle, code enforcement doesn't handle our public roadways and our private roadways.
Okay, then can you get us in touch with the Internal Affairs Department?
The Internal Affairs.
What was that, Getman?
Yep, Gettman, badge number 0104.
Okay,
Thanks.
gotcha. This doesn't seem right cool.
Yeah.
That's definitely a code.
Well, yeah, we were told by, city clerk's office that we could get an answer out of that, so.
Wow, they actually told us to literally just
To go. Yeah, we were actually instructed to come here to talk to code enforcement by your GIS department. So it would be nice if we could actually still talk to them.
Clear it up, I'll go get that one before you get there.
Thank you. Stop trying to stop us.
You're not going to be fired, man. I can't believe this.
Hey, look, if you guys don't want to answer the question for us, you have to answer it for yourselves.
Hey, that's not going to stop us from going to the next chain up and up and up. It's not yet a dictatorship yet, where just the little guy can't do anything.
No, I can still do something.
Oh yeah, guess what? Well, when I was here last time, there was a person in here that was filing an internal complaint investigation with the Westminster cop that had pulled him over, and as he was talking to him about what he was being pulled over and challenging his rights, the cop said, "Do you want to die?" Yeah, he said that to him. "Do you want to die? Do you want to get hurt and die?"
Oh yeah, just like I got this. Hey, if you exercise rights, that's gonna get you arrested.
No, seriously, Westminster is the most backwards ass. 30 years behind case law, I swear to God. I'm not joking, man. Every other jurisdiction has changed the ways except for Westminster. Yeah, it's a little different now that there's a witness with them, and that we just went to your city manager's office.
They told me. They were not
Class. Hey, we didn't have a witness of a lady that's telling us to come here.
You're gonna have to tell her not to come here.
Yeah.
Tell her not
Go
to
tell
tell us to
her.
come
Go tell her, cop. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
No, seriously, no one should trust these fucking pigs.
Hey,
Shall be
you should be
fired.
concerned if someone requests some trouble. I'm just saying, it's just on the bottom, and then it doesn't matter.
Hey, by the way, that's the very definition of a dictatorship, is giving shit to the little guy. I thought every person was a tax-paying, rightful citizen that could sue anyone who's fucking country. Oh my God, Will.
Wait a second.
Oh my God. They did not just say that. They said inclusive. You can't fucking say that.
Well connected. They choose, Dave, because is that really true?
No, that's literally. Oh my God, I'm taking a picture of that.
Hi.
I guess you guys maybe need me. I'm going to try to help. I don't know
Please.
if I can. I'm Joy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
nice to
Willie.
meet you.
David and William.
Yep, that's
nice
my brother
to meet
David.
you. Right
Are
here.
you code
Budget.
enforcement or internal affairs?
I'm the supervisor for code enforcement.
Oh, okay.
So
We were just sent here, directed here from GIS department.
Sure.
We're very basic. We're trying to get an idea. We're from a church, anti-abortionist. We're trying to hold signs on a private drive.
Okay.
And we're just trying to make sure that it's not violative of your 941 statute.
Sure, I appreciate you trying to do that. Do you have some documents?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we,
I was going to try to help you, but
Well,
it may end up being our engineering department.
Yeah, well, no, we got the plans, so we know what's private and what's not.
Oh, you did? Okay.
We just
perfect.
have,
I'll try to
yeah.
answer your questions.
And we looked up the definition on your municipal code of
Okay.
the roadway, and it includes
So it's
street or
soliciting
public
on
thoroughway.
a roadway, and so we're.
So when you say soliciting, tell me.
Okay, so soliciting, it wouldn't matter either way. Holding a sign isn't soliciting.
Correct, because you're not trying to sell anything.
Exactly.
Okay.
But even if you were holding
exactly.
a sign, and everyone knows that custom, that someone that holds a sign may be in need, and so the whole point is exposure. And so if we're not saying anything, someone could still indicate that they want to help us out with some money or something
I
like
see
that.
what you're saying. Okay.
And so that actually is
So
soliciting.
like holding it, they
we're
give
still,
us money for the cause. Then.
Sure.
yeah, and so we're
Does
still.
it apply on this private?
Let me just look and see the property that you're talking
Yeah.
about, because
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
about
real quick,
that, but
yeah.
I'll
So the elements of the solicitation are soliciting or collecting monies.
sure, trying to get money.
But it is only applicable if you are if it causes you to step out onto the public roadway. That's B1.
Oh, okay.
Meaning like Walmart
So it's stepping
parking
out.
lots, it's exempt. We see homeless people there holding signs, but on a Walmart parking lot, cops obviously can't do anything.
Know that it's
because
a parking lot.
It's
Well,
actually
now that's not necessarily true. If the business owner called it in,
Oh yeah, yeah. We
As
know
a-
about the
we're
formal
never
warning.
referring to
okay,
that.
because I was
Trespassing.
just trying to differentiate.
We know formal warning.
Yeah, we're getting.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we've got permission
Okay.
from these people.
Okay.
It's just coming down to the
Then
three
it would be,
variables.
if you were on their property, that would certainly be between you and them, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to get
I
at
don't
versus
know for
if you're
certain.
like
Well, no,
an
it's-
actual sidewalk on public Westminster, that then the statute we're
No.
guessing applies.
Yeah, so the
Sidewalks are public, correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
well, here's the thing. So there, so the three things real quick is stepping onto the roadway, just being on a median, and then being located such that cars can't pull around and park legally. But every one of those is contingent upon that you're collecting or soliciting from a car traveling on the roadway.
Okay.
That's the first definition, and then all those contingencies happen later.
Okay.
And so what we're trying to get at is we don't even need to figure out if stepping out is illegal or not.
We don't even
if
need
we
to
can
figure
figure out
soliciting or any. We just need to know the
if we can figure out if it's a
jurisdiction.
road or not.
The boundaries.
Yeah,
Okay,
and so
let me
this is
see
where
if
we
I
got to
can
the bottom of it. We figured out.
Attempt to help you.
So this is like north.
And then we're talking about the.
Oh, of course, we don't have it. Yes. Here, I can pull up on my map.
You know that Walmart right over there. Payless. That's
Okay.
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Diamond Shamrock, okay.
So
So
basically,
here, let's do this, because this is really combobulated.
or it's not like copy right now. Or
Yeah, it is. I'm working on it.
Okay, but basically going north on Sheridan.
Okay.
Here's Payless, and say here's Valero.
Yes, that's probably Valero right there.
And actually, this is a better one because
Yeah,
how we pulled it out. It shows the concrete sidewalk there, concrete, the curb.
Yep, this is a better
And so- map.
So this is Sheridan North.
Yeah, so we looked on the GIS main map for the
Okay.
aerial as well,
Sure.
and so that confirmed that it is consistent with these lines. But it also says that sidewalk is in their private property, so that's not really what we're worried about.
Okay,
We like
We're-
to stand more on the side of their building right there.
Yeah, and so we're all the way in there.
all right, here's what I would tell you to use caution on, based on my experience here.
Yeah.
This isn't based on law, this is just based on my experience. If you are potentially interrupting any kind of flow of traffic, i.e., if there's a green light, those vehicles are supposed to be able to flow onto that through that intersection.
Okay.
So,
But keep in mind, flow of traffic is implying that it's on a road.
no, it is
cars.
not.
But according to the 941 is all we're getting. Because 941 deals with if you're just stepping out on the road. It doesn't say about the flow
Yeah,
of
well,
traffic.
what I'm going to give you the perspective of is from an enforcement perspective, based on activity that could impede the flow.
Yeah, so it would
Does
be
that make sense?
it would be a obstruction traffic ticket.
Could potentially be.
But what we're,
I guess, I don't know,
mean, I could-
because I'm not a cop,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I-
we can deal with
Yeah.
that. We were just trying to figure
what?
out the
Yeah.
solicitation statute.
It could potentially be an obstruction, absolutely.
Well, that's okay.
At least in my mind, it
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be.
We never knew that. I thought on private property, none of those statutes could ever apply. Like if two
They
people
do
get in a car
apply.
accident, can someone get a reckless driving ticket on private land?
Now, I don't know, you'd have to ask a cop. But I can tell you what I know to be true, because we've run across it with the people that have the homeless signs, or whatever the signs they have, not homeless, just need help, or whatever. We, as in the PD, we've run across it time and time and time and time again. So irrelevant to what your sign is displaying, let's just look at it
exactly.
that way.
Yeah.
Let's look at it that way. Irrelevant to what your sign is displaying, it's the action that could potentially be obstructing the flow of traffic.
So because
Does
it's
that make
going
sense?
into a main public
In and
intersection,
out of an intersection.
it's affecting the flow of a public intersection.
Correct.
But you wouldn't
Now-
ride a 941. That's
Well,
all we're really
I
concerned about right now.
wouldn't.
We'll get to that bridge when we cross it.
I would say you need to probably consult with maybe a traffic officer to find out what statutes might apply.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
that's yeah. Oh,
That's where the
he
traffic-
kind of started off there. We're aware of all
Okay.
the traffic
We'll
laws.
go to that next. We didn't know about that. We were just focusing on soliciting. Thought that was the only thing.
Yeah,
that was
see,
gonna apply.
that's where people get kind of snagged up, is that, and I say my experience is my staff runs into this a lot, because we enforce private and public
Yeah, exactly.
codes.
Yeah, you can get an assault on a private property.
Yeah, murder on
You-
private land.
Exactly.
It's
You can get a expired vehicle ticket on private property. You can get, so
Yeah.
there are statutes that apply to both private and public.
Yeah.
And so this one would, in my mind, wouldn't be any different. So,
But-
i.e. the obstruction,
yeah,
or
obstruction,
i.e.
okay.
the hazard, creating a hazard in the.
obstructing traffic is what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
But just
Sure.
saying one statute at a time,
Okay.
to kind of try and eliminate the 941. The definition of road sounds like it's a private drive. It wouldn't really apply for a solicitation statute. Like, because they say B1 causes you to step out onto the roadway. Well, you're not stepping on the roadway. B, you're
There's
not
a
on a
difference
median because there's no
between
median. And it's-
roadways in person's land, say their backyard, they can technically still have a roadway if they really wanted to on a
Correct,
ranch.
yeah.
We're trying to figure out the wording of roadway versus an actual public roadway that would apply to.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. Did you guys by chance look up the state statutes on the definition of roadway, as in the traffic statutes?
No, but it's always been consistent among all codes.
I'm
we've
wondering
come
if that
across.
might
It always
help
mentions
us.
a public street or thoroughfare that's
See,
owned by
ours
the
doesn't.
state.
Ours
A
doesn't.
right of way that it's labeled as a
Yeah,
right of way.
ours does not. It
Define road. in municipal code. We'll have to find
it
out.
could consider a road. I'm just kind of giving you this food for thought.
Yeah.
It could consider a roadway also on private.
Okay.
It's a thoroughfare, if you will, of any flow of any traffic, regardless of whether it was on private or public.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Here's
we're
a
not
question for
disagreeing
you.
with that though,
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
flow of it. We're
Actually-
trying to see we're trying to see if there's a straight boundary between
So if you're actually
traffic
Here's a-
moving on private property versus traffic moving on public property. It seems like
Yeah,
there's
here's a good way-
bleed in between it.
Sure,
because they're
sure.
moving.
Here's a great way to explain it. So here we're going north again this way.
okay,
There's this private drive, which is the Valero.
that has that brick
Yeah.
median in
And
it.
there's a light right there.
Exactly.
And then behind this is another private drive. Obviously, it goes over to Best Buy and stuff.
Oh,
That
yeah,
drive
Mm-hmm.
is the exact same feature as
Type
what we're
of
calling
land.
it. We're calling it private drive here. We're calling
Type
it
of
private
land,
drive there.
sure.
And so, are you? What we're advocating potentially here is
like
that
if
traffic.
you block traffic right here, would you get the same charge of obstructing traffic?
'Cause it's
Also
not
the
really
same thing,
traffic.
like right in front
Well,
of Walmart as well, you would get obstructing
I
traffic.
think you potentially could anywhere, to be honest.
Wow.
And that is simply because the design of the parking lot, i.e. driveways, whatever, medians, medians are designed to cause traffic flow.
But that's all. But it's all designed to handle your private property influx of whoever you invite on your property. For instance, it's not like traffic, like public traffic, because
I
it's
hear what
only
you're saying,
who's
yeah.
deciding
to
to be
is
there.
if there's
Yeah.
an actual contract that proves that you guys can actually issue traffic violations and or obstruction on.
And or
I do
mostly
not know why
soliciting.
we could not, to be honest. If there was an infraction, whether you're sitting in the middle of the driveway or whether you're standing and someone stops to give you money and you're obstructing the flow, I don't know why you couldn't be cited. I mean,
But that's with
I guess
the
that's
obstruction.
I guess we've hit the same note 3 times now. That's what we're determining.
Okay.
That applies to.
I'm trying to understand it
actual
a little.
What do
private
you
land,
guys-
Because it's technically Walmart or
Yeah, I
whoever
hear what you're
has to
saying.
enforce
Because
it.
we've run into that.
What if they didn't care and someone came up and ticketed someone for obstruction when they're like, I don't care if they sit in my parkway.
Well,
They
because
really
you could
wanted to.
potentially have another, and again,
Yeah.
I'm not a cop, I'm just telling you, I've been here 23 and a half years. So you could potentially have a victim so let's just say someone stops to chat with you about your cause or to donate to your cause or whatever, and they have 9 cars piled up behind them.
Yep, we've seen
Those
that.
are your victims. Those are the victims to the actions of you obstructing that traffic flow. Does that make sense?
Ooh, really good question.
Does
I've
that
always
make
wanted to
sense?
know this. When we hold a sign, we don't want money. People want
Sure.
to give us money.
Sure.
And what if they slow down? Even though I was like clearly saying abortion, you know.
And it's like I never indicated that we wanted money.
Sure.
But
no,
it's
no,
all
no.
their
It's
fault.
their
for,
choice to
So
stop.
would it be their fault if they stopped at that point? Of the 9 victims, would they cause the 9
Potentially.
victims instead
I mean,
of us? That's
it
just
could
an-
go either way, I would think.
That's what I was wondering. Either way. Yeah.
I think. Again, I'm not a police officer. I'm just trying to kind of give you guys a little bit to go
Well,
on
it makes
here.
sense because if you're going out there, it's your fault. But if you're
If-
actively showing on your sign that I don't want money out, just advertising abortion,
Right.
and then that person was like, "Oh, I love you," and then they slow down.
Sure, I hear what you're saying. So here's another caveat, just to, I mean, I've seen everything you can imagine.
Probably
In-
20 years.
Yeah. If you, let's just say you caused an accident. I'm just hypothetically,
Sure,
you've caused
yeah.
a rear end collision.
Yep, they slow down. Yeah,
They
better
slow
be
down
good.
to chat with you and support you or otherwise or whatever. And someone rear ends them. They could say that these individuals were causing a distraction on this property. And
But that's putting a lot of kind of blame on the person that you're causing all this distraction, but
I
you're just holding
understand,
a
it's
sign.
accountability. Right, right.
know.
You slowed down, therefore you, no, I
Yeah.
understand. I'm just trying to give you kind of a different spin on it.
Yeah.
So if that happened, and let's just say person who hit the person that slowed down
Okay.
is at fault, right? Because anytime you rear end somebody, you're technically at fault.
Okay.
Whether a
As the
police officer
person
would,
behind him, sure.
right? Whether a police officer would respond or not. Let's just
For
the
insurance.
scenario.
reasons.
Mhm.
Okay.
So our city, our advertising, sign codes, various things could potentially come into play.
Oh yeah, yeah, for visibility purposes. Yeah, that makes
A
sense,
lawful
obstruction.
sign, whether you're holding it or not.
Oh, obviously leaving them out there is just straight illegal because it's like
Correct.
unmanned advertising.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, it's an unlawful sign. So just that's
Well,
just
maybe
another
s-
spin on it. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe this is what
trying
we
to-
have. Maybe this is a conversation we have to go down. We need to get more to the brass tacks. And
Sure,
so this
I
is-
understand.
Yeah, so this is what's going on. We're not from a church. This was a sting to get as much information as we could. We've done this with other jurisdictions before because
Sure.
we've actually had this happen to us before. So
Someone got arrested. Is that what you?
I got ticketed.
Oh,
I got arrested.
Okay.
In Westminster.
For this very scenario.
So,
Yeah.
so this is
Okay.
something that we needed to start. We're up to eyeballs and other
Yeah.
paperwork, so we're giving it to you to give to your internal affairs department because it's that easy. We don't have time to write it down.
Okay, well
We've
that's
even
not
called
my
cops
function,
who-
but I'm happy to facilitate.
But yeah, it's so basic. We just
Yeah.
need you to relay something for us.
We're not
Very, very
asking
basic.
you.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
sure.
And it's very
I
simple.
mean, even if you were.
Here, let me say this. We basically called the cops on a person there the other day, and they weren't removed.
Yeah, they
So
were told that they
that's-
would not be removed for soliciting. That as long as it's okay with the
because it's a
property owner
private
and so
drive.
forth.
But then this guy said that we can't do this here, so we
Yeah,
are really
so-
confused on if this is acceptable, not only
Sure,
one
no,
contingency.
Right.
Yeah.
If you guys can apply your things on that piece of land.
Yeah,
That's
and again,
all.
like I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm trying to run scenarios by you, but I can't
Well, exactly. That's why.
affirmatively tell you one way or the
Okay,
other.
Yeah, that's why.
fine if you can.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
I
why the
can't.
scenarios we thought might help to figure it out, but maybe, like I said, just brass tacks. What we needed to get the information across, we need to get it in its whole. It's only 4 or 5 variables, and we just need to get it from us to you to internal affairs or to the internal affairs department directly. But we figured co-enforcement could explain it, but not really. But it's
okay.
We just need someone to start with, And so it's very basic. If this is going north. This being the private drive here, I was on this sidewalk halfway between here and here, so definitely well within the
On
property
the
line.
Payless side?
Payless, north of Payless, right in front of the planter box right there. Along
Oh,
this
you were
skinny
actually
sidewalk.
on the median.
No, I was on the sidewalk.
No, you're on it's
Right.
a very thin sidewalk
Yeah.
right
That
next
kinda
to,
curves.
It goes
a brick wall.
Payless, giant brick wall, little sidewalk, and then road, and then median, and then road.
Gotcha.
Then
Valero.
Okay.
And
So,
so-
you were on the south side of the
Yep.
median on that little
Yeah, that little
sidewalk
strip.
that kind of curves around
Yeah,
there.
and so
Yep.
that's where I was.
Okay.
Um,
Public sidewalk.
But private drive.
Actually, the plat right there says it was private.
Yeah, it actually says private sidewalk here too. But
We
that's
were
does it?
actually shocked.
That's
that
what
their
we're trying to
property
get.
actually went and
So-
included
Is that sidewalk
Other
right there
ones don't,
is
actually.
private, and it says that it was added later, and that the actual property line, it says right there, property line goes out to
I'm
the,
too old, I can't
to the
read.
street.
So let
So-
me ask you this.
But real quick, to get the variables down,
Sure.
I'm standing. Let's see, curb. I'm standing there, well within that property line right there and there.
And here's Sheridan. Okay.
There's the curb line of Sheridan. There's the sidewalk. So I'm not even on the sidewalk. I'm all
That's not even
I'm over
an
here
argument, yeah.
next
Sure.
to the property.
Okay.
I was holding a sign, not stepping out, not soliciting, nothing.
Okay.
They came up to me, arrested me. I refused to show my ID. I got acquitted because I simply asked the very first 3 questions that an officer should go through, so prove they didn't have probable cause. Was I located, or did it cause me to step out? No, I was just standing there. Was I located on a median? Definitely not. Was I located such that cars cannot pull around and park if needs be? Nope, they can obviously go back around and park, and that's what I got acquitted on, except that I didn't show my ID, and so she literally thought, well, the reasonable suspicion is that you could step out, but the whole point of could step out is you're still assuming that it's a public drive, and the officer said, he admitted that it was a private drive, that it's maintained.
So
that's the
did
only
you get
argument
arrested on the fact that you didn't show your ID?
Yeah, which is understandable, but you have rights, and I should not have been convicted, but the judge ratified.
But you weren't convicted.
I was convicted of the obstruction, or of
Like
not
the
showing
whole
the
reason
ID.
why we choose
Correct.
properties like this is to obey your laws, and so that's
Sure.
why we're so
Yeah.
confused about
Sure.
it.
And so I refused to show my ID. I wasn't doing
And
anything
that's-
wrong.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is that I went through the elements of the charge that I didn't show my ID for, and I got acquitted. They figured the only thing left is that you might commit the crime that we just talked about, but they never,
Yeah.
they always assumed that you might commit this crime
And when you
because
say they, did you mean
The
the
judge,
prosecutor?
the judge and the
prosecutor.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the problem here is that they said that I might step out, but every time they say I might step out, it's all under the umbrella of the contingency
Sure.
that it was a public road. And so I'm having other
Or
officers
privately
call in.
maintained public road is
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
wording that they used.
And so
Because
I'm,
they maintain it for
Maintain.
traffic, street sweeping, or whatever, I thought it didn't apply, that the statute applies for maintaining, because what
Right.
we've seen in other jurisdictions is that's a only public road statute. I actually won a trial in North Bend, they tried to give me the same type of ticket, same wording on private mall
yeah,
property.
it didn't show up
and
as a
it
road. It's not.
Didn't show up
Sure.
there was road, and
Sure.
it was like.
Yeah, this
Same
is a
thing with
little
this.
more gray, I would say.
No,
Exact
that's the
same
thing.
thing.
That's
That's
the
the
same exact thing.
exact
It's
same
not
Well, no,
showing
I
up
mean
a
as
road.
far as this, where the sidewalk and stuff goes into that.
Yeah. Well, in terms of the property line,
Oh, we were very sure
we were
where the property
definitely
line was.
within the property line.
Sure.
Or right there.
Yeah,
And
the,
so-
the issue more was that you didn't produce your ID.
Well, keep in mind,
that what I'm
you don't have
hearing?
to. Yeah. So by law, you don't have to show your ID unless the officer has reasonable suspicion.
Actually catches you in a statute. See, that's what
No,
we're
not
wondering.
catches, because that would be probable cause. You don't have to show your ID for probable cause. You
Oh,
can just
sure,
get arrested.
sure.
He's only if he has suspicion of a crime that he needs to confirm or dispel. And so they required my ID as a last ditch effort to not look bad for bringing me into court that I just got acquitted on the actual charge. So they say I might step out, or they couldn't say that I might be located on a median because that's obviously impossible. They can't say I might be located such that cars can't pull around and park because they
Okay.
obviously just admitted that. So the only thing left that they admitted was that I might step out. But every time that they invoke that might step out, they're assuming that it's a road I'm trying to step out on.
See what I
And-
mean?
Yeah, I
Because
hear
there's
what
And like I said, we
statute
called
that
up
you
a
can't walk
police
out on the
officer
road.
Right, no, I
But you
hear what you're
can
specifically.
technically solicit on the side of the road legally.
Yeah.
But it's
What
very
you're saying.
minimal.
And so we called up a police officer,
So-
got a sergeant the other day.
Here in
Yeah.
our
Yes,
agency.
it
Okay.
Drove by someone standing there in the exact same spot as me. I called back, dispatch said, no way, we will never touch him. So how come that person says they'll never be touched? Because it's a private
Yeah,
drive.
Also,
that's
we're-
not a question I
On
can
a,
answer.
on a side note.
But that's why we need internal affairs to determine if
Well, let me-
this officer was correct or not.
Sure.
Also,
Let me tell
we
you how
need
the
internal-
process works here.
Yeah.
So that
Uh,
No, that's all my variables.
no.
Let me mention one more thing.
Okay.
There was another police officer in Westminster that is potentially accusing us of conspiracy.
Of
and,
falsely
falsely
reporting
reporting to
because we
authorities
called it
that
in.
we're trying to figure out if this is it because he was in
Okay.
another incident.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
called it in, and he saw that paperwork later, and it is accusing me of falsely reporting a stinging when I was just calling to confirm
Sure.
that no. And so he extra confirms it by saying, "I'm never going to ticket someone there to the point where I'm going to investigate someone who calls it in there." So see,
Which
he's
he proved
on the same
what
side.
he
Yeah, I
wanted
hear-
to
I hear
prove,
what
which
you're
he
saying.
said he wouldn't
Yeah.
ticket us
Sure.
there.
I hear what you're saying. So here's what I would suggest to you. We have a process here
Okay.
for any complaints of this nature that need against an officer or a whomever,
Yeah.
sergeant, commissioned personnel, sworn, we call
An
them
employee
sworn.
of the city. Anyway.
No, a commissioned officer in the PD. Whereas if it was, see, we're civilians, my staff is civilian. So if it was a complaint against my staff, you and I would meet and I would take your information and I would go talk to my staff and say, what do you do? Or what do you do? You know, we'd have some dialogue.
Yeah, obviously.
For a police officer, there's a different procedure because they're sworn, they're commissioned.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the state of Colorado.
Okay.
So there's a different procedure. It's not as simple as me just taking this information up to IA.
We're afraid of that.
So I'm happy to.
Yeah, you're right. That makes
Do you see what I'm
sense.
saying? I'm happy
absolutely.
to facilitate that to get you to the right people, but I can't be involved in that because I'm civilian.
Yeah, I say you just get us the number to internal affairs and then we all.
Is
I
it?
I can get you numbers to the.
Are we going to pretty much
investigations.
have to write it down? Because
Well,
I think that's what.
You know, I can find out what the process, like, what do you guys have to do is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm hearing you want to know.
Yeah.
I can run back and find out what that is. I think it's just as simple as you say, you know, you want to dispute this or whatever, and then it goes up to the investigators up there.
Okay. Maybe this is enough food for thought.
Yeah, we got to.
Are you sure?
Going,
'Cause
but
I'm
we'll just
happy
take
to-
their number.
Okay, because I'm
Yeah.
happy to facilitate. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I'm-
Here, that works.
Yeah, anything that's on.
Yeah, so I don't know how to say it, but
Yeah, I just-
it would be nice to see a definitive answer. Either that cop was
I
correct
understand, sure.
or that other cop was
Nope, I
incorrect.
totally understand.
Because usually
be
the
able to
law
get
would
that.
be consistent. Now it's like,
Yeah.
Well,
what do we do?
Yeah.
And if it's inconsistent, then we would like to know if that new officer didn't
Then why?
apply his law correctly.
Sure.
And or
That's fair.
it would be truthfully speaking, I don't want a conviction on the record. I tried to appeal it. I appealed it to Jefferson County because that's where it happened.
Sure.
And they accepted it. And even the city attorney here at the courthouse thinks that everything was replacement. Nope, it got denied, and I found out the hard way that you have to file it in Adams County. So I couldn't even appeal it.
Oh, how come we have to file an Adams County?
That's where the physical location of the courthouse is. So I got
isn't that stupid?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's really.
So I'm wrongfully convicted on essentially I can't even fight anymore.
I wish I could help you.
So
I
that's why we're trying to figure out if no fair
this is me.
these crimes.
But and consistency really is the key.
Yeah, that we want to know either way.
And I've been here a long time
Yeah.
in an enforcement capacity.
Because the whole point of inconsistency is that we've seen it. It's where people try to hide and not own up to doing
It
something
creates
wrong.
exposure.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
exactly.
That's
all we're trying to do.
I'm a citizen, so I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But I'm also a civilian, and I can't.
No,
I wish
that's
I could.
perfectly
I wish I
fine.
could help you more. So let me give you. I'm going
Or
to.
we'll just look it up.
The
We just
executive-
needed to know where to go.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I'm going to give you their executive assistant, the commander's executive assistant.
Oh, okay.
Because she would be able to help you funnel that to the right person. Then you're not 3 or 4 people later.
Oh,
trying to
yeah,
figure
that's
out
very
what
nice.
Her last name is Irwin. And let me go get her extension because I don't have it in my head.
It's another person that got the name with the last name. Oh my gosh, just talking to him. Oh, I bet that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Internal affairs.
That guy looks like the Seamus look on his face. Because you thought that we were just some fucking punk that couldn't do their fucking homework.
Nope, I know exactly
I
what
am
I'm talking
so
about.
fed up with injustice.
You want to know why it's the crimes for the pygmy arrest?
Dude,
Because
that was bad.
other officers, I don't think they're mistaken. I think they were doing their jobs.
It's hard
And
for us
if
to
you're, are
say
you
that
going
we're
to say that they're not doing
Dude,
their
that's
jobs
technically-
just so that you can cover up a wrongful conviction?
That's technically a sergeant and 36 guy that's agreeing
36
with us.
guy's pissed. He's not going to be like saying that he's wrong because he's a private drive. What are you doing? Calling us.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm watching.
Sure.
This is Melissa's extension, and but we have a sergeant on duty right now. If you would like to speak to them and file the complaint directly to
We have to go somewhere.
Uh-huh.
It's an hour right now. So
Yeah, I have another
we'll get
court
around
case.
to it.
You guys picked up at a different location on a public road. Never stepped.
Say that one more time, sorry.
I'm going to court actually for a similar issue. Different officer picked us up on a 36. So thought that was
different agency.
A different cop here.
No, Westminster did.
Oh, okay.
He has 3 cases in Westminster.
But this one, I was just holding a sign on the side of the road, never stepped out.
He's not back there right now. I'm sure they'll be right back there. Okay.
Said it was an interstate, and he said holding a sign is solicited, and that's all I was doing. In fact, he asked for his ticket back at the end because he didn't realize.
Wait, that's not this guy's trial.
Oh wait, you're right. Third guy, whatever. They're all the same.
Well, it's the same thing. We know how to
Holding a
case
sign.
law thing correctly. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're really concerned because the purpose of your sign for one is very apparent. Purpose to prevent delays and so forth. So that's a big due process violation if you say that they're not allowed to collect from vehicles that are traveling on the roadway. And I read that to mean don't accept from cars that are moving, traveling on the roadway. So I accepted a car from a vehicle that wasn't
It's
traveling.
It's
But keep in mind that if you guys still think that's a crime, the light cycle was like 2.5 minutes, and
So the
it was
actual
definitely
literal
not
wording
apparent.
is not traveling. So that's what he was challenging.
sure.
Yeah, and so there's no risk of danger for anybody. And if there was, then you could catch me doing the dangerous thing and then stop me from doing that.
What we're trying to get at is we were reading an article that ACLU sued Colorado Springs and Denver and forced them to drop 500 unconstitutional handling tickets because
So
it
they were
didn't meet their
consistently-
elements. It violated freedom of speech.
And it was just
they
their own
can't regulate future crimes, which is the purpose section, and that's kind of like what we're running into.
You actually have to
We're
catch someone
actually-
into crime.
We're actually shocked that we thought Westminster had stopped. That was pretty big, and apparently because we've been stopped 12 times.
In Westminster.
Yes.
Yes.
Including
For just holding a sign, which
Yeah.
is not illegal.
The other times we move along because we know how bad these stops are, that we don't want the tickets or in other areas. These times we were definitely in the right. You challenge it and they ticket us wrong anyway. So
Yeah.
So we've won almost every single one of our trials.
Yeah.
But then there's these really tough ones where I try and get the cop and he says some mumbo jumbo like, oh, they maintain it. And then the judge accepts that and ratifies that. And I can't prove that you guys don't maintain it in that way.
Right.
The burden of proof was supposed to be on you guys to show the contract for that statute to be applicable in that private drive.
Sure. I get it.
It's bad.
I understand what you're saying.
But
Okay,
thank you very
yes,
much.
So these are the main start numbers. This is me, and this is it's a 1 as I.
That's 1-9.
Got one in
That's
there.
okay.
Yep.
what is
And
that?
Perfect.
4419?
Mhm.
Okay.
And again, if you wanted to come back later, there's a sergeant on duty, and you want to directly to them.
Sure.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Take care.